What is up, data nerds? I'm Luke, and welcome to my channel where I make data visualization easy. In this video today, we're going to be going over if statements, and if statements are really important, especially in data analysis, for carrying out certain actions if a condition are met. And in order to evaluate those conditions, we need to use certain operators. So in addition to if statements, we're going to be going over operators that compare comparison or identity and understanding what those are used for inside of if statements. At the end of this, we're going to wrap it up all together, and we're going to have a comprehensive problem that we're going to solve that applies all of the concepts that we learned in this video. So with that, let's jump right in. So here we are in my Mac. We have a Jupyter Notebook launched, and we're going to be looking at first if statements. Okay, so for the if statement, the basic structure of an if statement is shown here in orange, but it will start with an if, and then from there you have some sort of condition. That condition has to be evaluated to provide some sort of answer, whether true or false. Otherwise, it won't work. Then from there you have your colon, and then the next line is indented. So with Python, you indent it 4 spaces. So everything under this if the condition is met, will execute, and then you'll put the code. And it could be multiple lines if necessary, but it must be indented to fall under this. Let's look at a very simple example. So in this, we have an if statement, then we have a condition. I just specified true, and we'll expand upon this later, but I just want to keep it simple for now. So if true, we would expect that this code underneath will execute from here. So if I run Shift Enter, it will execute. So it will print this will print underneath it. Now if we continue, just to show a further example, if say we evaluate the condition to false, we would expect the condition underneath it, so this code statement, will not execute. However, this statement after it is not indented, so therefore it does not fall within the if statement, so we would expect it to print. So whenever I press Shift Enter, we see, hey, but this will, because only this line actually printed because it falls outside of the if statement. The next portion to look at in an if statement that can be included is an else. So if this condition is not met, maybe we want some code to still execute even if that condition is not met. And that's when we use the else statement. And that's going to be on the same line as the if, but then the code following the else must be indented in order to fall under. So let's look at a simple example. Hey, if the first condition is executed as false, yep, we don't expect this to print, but then the else, we would expect this to print. So pressing Shift Enter, yeah, just like expected, this evaluated to false, so the else statement executed. Moving on to the final portion to keep in mind when using if statements is an elif. That is short for else if you're coming from other languages. And that is just saying, hey, if this condition is met, you'd follow the if statement. And then if you had another condition, you'd use elif. And for this, you can use 0 or as many as you want different elif conditions. And the first elif to meet the true condition will execute. And then from there, you will exit this control flow statement. If none of these conditions are met, then the else statement will execute in this case. So let's do a simple example. Yeah, so for this we have, we would expect this first elif to execute because it is true, and then we don't expect this second one to execute because we exited the loop. So if we run this, Shift Enter, yeah, we got the but this will from this line, and this was skipped even though it was true because we executed the first one. So this is all great, and now we understand the basics of if statements, but we're not going to be using this false and true. We need to actually understand how to make conditions that we can use in our code. So let's look at operators now. The first operator to look at is the comparison operators, and we'll just do a simple comparison operator first. So let's compare 0 and see if it equals 0. Pressing Shift Enter, we see true. Okay, so that's what we would put. We could put this inside of an if statement if we wanted to evaluate a true or false condition. And just to show the point, hey, well, we would expect that 0 does not equal to 1. So this is false in this case. One thing to note, sort of a rookie mistake, is to make sure that you're using the double equal sign. So if you're doing the single equal sign, that's an assignment operator. And in this case, you'll get an error, but that you can't assign to a literal. But in other cases, you may not get this kind of error message depending on how you framed it. For other comparison operators, we can do things like above we did equal, we could do not equal, we could do greater than, less than, could do greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. And all of these, whenever we go to execute, we'd expect to get these conditions, but those are just some other different comparison operators. So let's look at these comparison operators in action within an if statement. So in this case, let's say we assign a name to a variable name, and we want to evaluate it. And so in this case, we can use the comparison operator equal to see if it equals a certain value, and then it will evaluate this condition whether true or not. So in this case, hey, the name is Dwight. So we would expect that for the first if, it's going to skip this. For the elif, we would meet this condition, it would be true, and then we'd print get out of here Dwight. So running shift enter, yeah, as expected. We met true on this, and we get out of here Dwight. Looking next at logical operators, this is used to combine conditional statements. So say you had two different statements that you're trying to evaluate whether they're true or false and get a combined condition of whether true or false. This is what we're going to be using either and or to solve this problem. So for this, for and, both must be true to get a true, and for or, one must be true to get a true. And to show this in action, let's do true and true. If I press enter, yes, I would expect to get true because both of these must be true to get it. Now, if I had a single false in here and false, and run this, I'm going to get a false. Similarly with the or statement, if we did a true or false, I would expect to get true because just one of these conditions are met. Whereas if we had a false or false, we're going to get a false because neither one of these are true, so therefore it's a false. And then a more complex example would be this one in this case where you have multiple conditions in here. So false or true, and then true and not false. So first let's pick this apart. So we can use this not operator, which we learned about before, to basically invert the sign. So this is going to make this true in this case. The next portion is the and or have similar to an order of operations. So this true and not false is going to get evaluated first. So true and true, I would expect this to be true. And since this evaluates to true, we're going to have false or true. And because we have a true on this side, we would expect to get true. So running this, we get true. Moving into other operators, we have these are operators that are not as frequently used, but I think you should still have an idea about their use. So membership, as is in the name, we're trying to see if something is a part of something. So something simple that we use a lot, we can use list or tuple. So we're going to use tuple in this case. So we had this tuple of the female cast, and we wanted to see if a certain value was in it. We can use the in statement to see, hey, is Phyllis in female cast? So I can run this and see that, hey, Phyllis is actually not in the female cast. And just sort of to show this point further, we could also do, is Michael not in female cast? And yeah, it's true, Michael is not in female cast. The last other operator to think of is the identity operator, and this is used to test object identity. Don't confuse this with the comparator operator, so using the double equal signs. This is used to compare the identity. And let's just show this, and what do I mean by identity? So if we did a simple example, 1 is 1. Okay, this is true, 1 is 1. And we have a built-in function within Python to see, hey, I want to see what the identity is. So if we did ID of 1 And just to show, let's also do another one. And I do Shift Enter. This is a unique value and number assigned to one. And for both of these IDs are similar. So therefore, the is statement evaluates as true. Let's moving to a more complex example though. Say we had these two lists and you can see they look identical, right? They have the same values within it. So I want to say, hey, A is a B. And I do, it gets false. And you may wonder, well, these are the same, have the same list with inside of it. But if we looked at the identity of A and also the identity of B, we can see that these are actually two different lists and they do not equal each other. A better option, if we wanted to, just to reinforce the point, we'd want to use the double equal sign to be a comparator if we wanted to see if the lists were equal to each other. And in that case, we would get true. So that is a quick overview of if statements and also operators such as comparison operators or identity operators. And now we're going to combine this all and go into a practice problem. So let's check it out. For the application, we're going to be building a bot, if you will, that is going to be using if statements to evaluate certain answers based on the input. So for this, we want a user to input what their favorite character is of The Office. We're going to evaluate it, and then depending on what the value is, we're going to output a certain print statement. So we do have some rules with this. So the name that they list must be in the cast members list. If it's Michael, Jim, or Pam, we're going to say, the bot's going to say, hey, this is also my favorite character. If it's Dwight or Angela, we're going to say, this is not my favorite character. And then for anyone else, we're just going to say, hey, this is a great character. Looking at the list itself, I have in here already the cast members list, and this has all of the different major characters from The Office. So before we get started, as always, I want to look at what is the approach I'm going to take for this. So the first thing is I want the user to input the name. Next, I want to evaluate if it is within the list. If it's not in the list, I want to basically say I want to have them re-enter the name. However, if it is in the list, I want to then start to go into its own if statement to evaluate what the name is to have a certain output. Okay, so that's the approach that we're going to be taking for this. One thing that I realized that you may not understand yet is inputs. So how would you get a user to input? So we actually have a built-in function within Python. And just to show this in action, we can say, hey, name equal to input. And whenever I run this, it gives you this pop-up up here. And you can input something. So say I want to put my name. So Shift Enter. Okay, so now it takes this name in and is assigned to name. So if I go to name and press Shift Enter, we can see that the name is now Luke. Other thing to note, we can put within here some sort of text saying what we want the user to input. So let's do what is So we have this text statement now. What's your favorite character of The Office? So do Shift Enter. And it pops up, hey, what is your favorite character of The Office? And we'll do Dwight. Shift Enter. And now if we evaluate this name condition, we would expect to see Dwight. So we have this first portion complete now. So the user inputs the name. We have this built into it. Now we want to evaluate if the name is in the list. So we can do the in statement to evaluate. So we'll do an if name in, and what is the name of this list? It's cast members. So if name in cast members, print, and we'll just keep it simple now, name in cast members. And this is just something you should keep in mind whenever you are building anything. You should routinely test it throughout the process as you're building it to make sure that it's executing as you expect. So remember, name is, Dwight isn't stored in there, so I would expect this to have, or I need to input the name. So we'll put Dwight and do enter. And yep, got name in cast members because Dwight is in here. Where is it? Right there. However, we want them to re-enter the name if it's not in the list. So we're just gonna make this a little bit, add a little bit more complexity to it. So if the name is not in cast members, we want to re-enter the name if not in the list. So if name not in cast members, you can put the input statement again. So I'll just copy this, Command C, place this, Command V, and then we'll just put this a statement warning them that it wasn't in the list. And so, yeah, so now we have this entered. I'll do a shift enter, and who's your favorite character in the office? Let's put me, Luke, and if I press enter, it will say, hey, name not in list. Re-enter the name. And then if I enter Dwight and press enter, and then evaluate the name, pressing shift enter, yep, Dwight's in there. Okay, so now we're on to the final portion. And that's, we want to do an if statement dependent on the name that's inputted. And we have these conditions above. And so for this, we want to move into that. So we have this if statement saying, hey, if the name is not in the cast member's input. So then we want an else statement. And we want to have an enclosing if statement. So the first one is if name is equal to Michael. And what other names do we have up here? So if name's Michael, Jim, or Pam, say is also my favorite character. I'm gonna type that real quick. Okay, so in this case, we're doing the if. So if the name is equal to Michael, or the name's equal to Jim, or the name is equal to Pam, we want to then print out, we're gonna print out, hey, the name, and then plus is my favorite character. And so now, like always, we should just run this for troubleshooting purposes. So we'll do a shift enter. What is your favorite character in the office? I'll input Michael, press shift enter. And yeah, we got Michael is my favorite character. So now let's add these other conditions. So we want, hey, if Dwight or Angela, say it's not my favorite character, else say is a great character. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in real quick. Okay, so I went and put this in, and the logic I did for this, as we have previously discussed, hey, if the Michael, Jim, or Pam, this is my favorite character. Then what I did is, if it's Dwight or Angela, if it's not Dwight or Angela, sorry, I wanted to print, hey, this is a great character. Else, whenever it would obviously meet the conditions of Dwight and Angela, we would output Dwight or Angela is not my favorite character. So, all right, let's try this out. Shift enter. And what is your favorite character? Let's try Dwight now. And press enter. And it would say, hey, Dwight is not my character. If we try this again with somebody else on the list and press, we can run this and let's try Toby. And press enter. It meets this condition, this elif condition right here. So, hey, Toby is a great character. And it meets this condition because remember, hey, it's the name is not one of these, but it's not equal to one of these, so therefore we're in this condition. So there you have it. We have the chatbot built and to interact with a user using if and else statements and the different comparator operators. Bam, so there you have it. We covered if statements, then we also moved into different operators such as comparison operators and logical operators to be used with inside of an if statement to evaluate certain conditions. In the next video, we're going to be going over loops, so understanding for loops and also while loops, and then we're going to apply what we learned from these loops to actually go in and read a CSV and do some data analysis on the contents of the CSV. So as always, smash that like button if you enjoyed this video. Also drop a comment down below if you have any questions relating to if statements. And if you're finding this video tutorial series interesting, please consider subscribing. And with that, we'll see you in the next episode.